Hey, another night to talk ball. Is this shirt messing you up? Is that messing with your eyes in the camera? This striped shirt can play tricks on your eyes. Welcome to the office in downtown Champaign. Oh, see, I always got a second computer going over here that I keep open. Usually read my comments from that. Leave this computer open for handling all the software that's needed to go live. But I'm especially excited about tonight because we're talking wing T football. And you know I love wing T football. I try so hard to downplay my love for wing T football because I run the online clinic. And you know, the truth is that I'm very aware that there's lots of different ways to play the game and lots of different offenses that are great. So I spend a lot of my time facilitating conversations about guys, about their offenses. And I love offense. It's so fun. But listen, I can't hide the fact that I love the wing T. Man, it's in me now. I love the wing T. I can't hide it, fellas. So it's wing T night. I just gotta let you know, I love the wing T. Let's had a citywide coaches meeting, Coach Q. What's up, Coach Weaver? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Boy, have I got a special guest for you tonight. Here he comes. Sean Cultis. Let's get him in here. Coach Cultis, how are you?
Up, how's it going?
Man, you're looking lean and mean with that new cut.
Hey, I'll tell you what, man, COVID, you know, I couldn't get a haircut for about 3 months and ordered me some clippers on Amazon and got pretty good. Now I realize how much money I'm saving, man. It's all profit now, you know.
Oh, man, you did that one all by yourself?
Oh, yeah. That's all me, babe.
That's even more impressive.
Yeah, haircut whenever I want, you know, it's incredible.
Hey, when you're by yourself.
And I got a little bit of gray coming in right in here and a little bit of bald in the back. So now it's all disguised a little bit. You know?
That's the look, man. That's the look.
Thanks.
You just got to go with it, man. Hey, fellas, guys in the chat, it's wing T night. I was just telling the guys, listen, I facilitate lots of conversations, right? I love ball. I love ball. And I can get excited about a lot of things and a lot of different kinds of offenses. And I see the wisdom in all of them. But the truth is, none get me more excited than the wing T, baby. Darius Coleman in the house. Darius, I don't recognize you, man. Are you here for the first time? If you are, let us know where you're from. Welcome to the live nights. We go live Monday through Thursday nights. Sean, I'm going to go tweet this out that we're live.
Yes, sir.
We are live. And with an undefeated wing T coach. I'm putting that in there.
Just say, if you want to win, if you want to make parents happy, run the spread. If you want to win.
Isn't that the truth, baby? Hey, so again, I'm excited. I get to talk wing T. We got Sean Cultis in the house. Cultis is the head football coach at Evansville Central in Evansville, Indiana, in year number 2 there.
Yes, sir.
Now, you've been coaching for quite a long time, spent a long time in the Chicago suburbs as a defensive coordinator.
That's right, at Bolingbrook High School.
Where
I
you
was
guys...
lucky enough to coach. I learned under legendary, like defense coordinator Bob Cora, Hall of Famer. Learned everything I know from him coaching defense. And I coached for a guy named John Ivelo who played in the NFL, won a Super Bowl ring. You know, great coach, head coach. He's still actually at Bolingbrook and has had just absolutely a ton of success there. So
I did not realize he played in the NFL.
Played for the Broncos, the 49ers, and the Bears. I coached for him for about 5 years before I even knew he played in the NFL because he never talked about it.
Are you serious? Isn't that something?
You know, that's funny is the guys that were good at football don't talk about it. You know, they're just kind of humble. You know, the guys that suck tell you how good they were.
All right, I'll tweet it to my personal one too. Wing T, baby.
There you go.
Well, you went to Evansville Central and you took over a program that had just played in a state title game.
That's right.
So you know expectations are high.
Yeah.
And
That's a good thing, though. You know, I mean, what kind of job do you want as head coach? You want to go to a team that, you know, I still got it's one of those things where you really, I had one previous head coaching job, and you really think about like, okay, if I was to take a head coaching job again, what do I really want? You want that.
Yeah.
You want the program with the good feeder program and the high expectations and the talent and, you know, the tradition and things like that. That's what you want. You want the pressure, and if you don't want it, why are you coaching?
Yeah.
You know.
Now you had been a D coordinator for many years,
Yes.
and you had one other head coaching stint at New Albany. Did they say New Albany?
Yeah, you know what? I had the job interview there, and the whole time through the interview, I'm saying New Albany. And they finally give me the job, and they're like, we'd like to offer the job, but just so you know, it's New Albany. So I learned real quick. And a lot of people there, it's down near Louisville, Kentucky, and they call it Albany. It's like one continuous word. Instead of New Albany, it's Albany.
Albany.
If you're kind of real Southern.
If you're a local.
I learned how to say y'all, and then the other thing is there's no in Chicago. It's your all the words are walking, running. There, there's no ing words. It's in apostrophe. So it's like I'm running to the store.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the Southern Indiana drawl now. I'm doing better now with it.
I'm sure nobody else would notice except for the Chicagolanders. They would certainly notice.
That's right.
So tell me, you went down to Evansville Central. Year number one, you did not call the offense, I believe. And then this year you said, okay, sorry guys, I'm going to take this over and we're going to go wing T. Yep. Why?
Well, first of all, I thought it fit us. I'm kind of evaluating like, okay, what do we have? I'm not even kidding you. Like our best JV freshmen, even our returning guys on varsity that were skilled, were loaded at the running back position. And I'm like, it's a hell of a lot easier to hand it to these guys and try to chuck it out there. And our offensive line, we don't have, how many teams truly have that, a bunch of 6'6", 300-pound guys are going to blow somebody off the ball?
Yeah.
It's much easier to find the little guy, the quick guy, the guy that maybe is a converted linebacker, converted fullback, that type of guy, and give them an angle on somebody to double team, to trap, to pull, to things like that. So again, it's something where they don't have to hold their blocks as long. We don't got to drive somebody off the ball. I just think it's more conducive to high school football. What are you going to get year in and year out? And again, for us, we have a ton of running backs coming through our program. And again, just I think it's something where you can run it as a system year after year. You don't focus on one thing. I think you're going to be an I formation team. You're saying we have an offensive line that's going to kill you. We got a fullback that's going to smash you and a tailback that we're going to get the ball 30 times a game. You're a spread team. All right, do you have a dual threat quarterback, a ton of receivers, and an offensive line that's going to keep them upright? I mean, if you do, then more power to you. But most high schools don't have that. I think the wing T, it's a flexible system that kind of allows you to feature what you got. It's not reliant on any single factor. You're not featuring a guy. It's them buying into a team concept. You're not reliant on having a great offensive line. If there's a year where you have a quarterback that is a runner, you might feature more running some option. If you don't, then run belly sweep instead of belly option. If you can throw it more, then throw it more. If not, you can kind of pick your spot. So I think it's flexible. It's something you can run year after year after year, and it's something that you're going to win with. And especially now that more and more people go to spread, I love it. Go ahead. Yeah. Now we're the only team on their schedule running it. And even if the coach thinks they know how to stop it, they got to prepare a bunch of high school kids in 3 days how to stop it. With a scout team that can't simulate what we do.
Yeah, boy, amen to that. A lot of good points in there, Coach. And in case you just want to let everybody know, we got some guys here for the first time. We usually try to balance our conversation between our guest and our guys in the chat. So do not be afraid to shoot in questions in the chat, or if I ask a question, throw your own answer in there. Darius Coleman finally answered back. He said, it's my first time watching live. Great to have you, Darius. And high school football coach, offensive coordinator for the last 2 years, O-line coach my whole career, defensive coordinator from Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome. Super happy to have you. Coach Quiroga says OC and O-line coach Coleman, good man in my book. Is that a guy you know? I wonder if he's talking to you. Okay. And he says no double dive. You're not running any double dive?
We tinker with it a little bit if we play a 4-4 front. I think it's great if you're playing a 4-4. It's kind of a conflict where we'd run it to that tight end wings, and basically we would inside release our guard to the tight end wing, leave that 3 technique unblocked, assuming he's going to close like you would on trap, and then we'd block out on the DN and the outside linebacker with the tackle and the tight end, fold the wing inside for the play set backer. That's like Jim McKee from Scott County. He runs it only versus 4-4, and it's a real conflict versus an even front. You basically leave that 3 technique unblocked and say, okay, if he's not closing, run trap all night. Yeah. If he is closing, it's basically like midline type. You're leaving that 3 technique unblocked. If he closes for the first dive, you fake it and give it to the second back.
I liked it. Does that go to your wing back or to your half back?
You actually give it to the hat. Can I actually share a video of it real quick?
I don't know. Yeah, you
No,
can
okay.
try, but I don't know for sure if my system allows it through. I tried
Okay, yeah,
once
it's not a
before
big
and I
deal.
failed.
Yeah, again, it's like I said, it's basically midline blocking. So you're gonna, say it was
like
a
it.
4-4 the tight end wing, your play side tackle blocks out on that 7 technique DN. Your tight end blocks out on the outside linebacker. Your wing folds inside for the play side inside linebacker. You leave the 3 technique unblocked and you inside release that play side guard to the backside linebacker.
Yeah.
You assume that 3 technique is going to close and take fullback.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why you're calling it.
Because he's been squeezing on
He's
trap.
closing to stop trap. And you leave him unblocked, let him close, and then you give it to the second back there, which is the die back. And you actually have him take 2 shuffle steps to allow the fake to the fullback to occur. And that's the way Jimmy Key runs it. It's beautiful.
I like that.
Runs it versus a 4-4. Now that 3 technique, and that's what wing T's about, is conflict. If you close the stop trap, we got to play where it looks the same. We're leaving you unblocked with an inside release. And if you close, now we got to play it sitting outside. So what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Whatever you do is wrong. And we're just kind of reading what that guy does.
Love it. Now, so here's the, I got some more guys here in the chat. If you're here for the first time, guys, we would love to know where you're watching from. We got Coach Quiroga out of Chicago, Darius Coleman out of Memphis, Tennessee, Coach Weaver, who's out of Ohio. I can't remember the name of your school. And I got my dad in the house. Yeah, he says, Coach Cultis is running wing T. He sure is, and his team is 8-0. Now, Coach, after this video, for those of you that don't know, I always show a clinic video that comes from our clinic, the online clinic, clinic.chiefpigskin.com, which there is just so much great stuff. If you happen to be, there's stuff on every offense, but if you happen to be a wing T guy, it's probably more wing T content than anywhere else on the web. It's unbelievable. We've got so much great stuff. And I don't do this often, but tonight's video is from me. Tonight's video.
You went to semi-state coacher. I know you don't toot your own horn. The program you took over was not successful. You went there and got them turned around and 1 game away from state running the wing T. And since you left, they haven't been quite as good. So, I know you don't like to toot your own horn, but you did a heck of a job there at a program that, and that's a testament to a good coach when you go into a school that hasn't had a lot of success, and you guys are had the best season in forever. They're running that wing T. So
yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. We the video that's coming on after this, it's about an hour long, and it is about us throwing the ball. And that's what I wanted to talk a little bit tonight about, was throwing the ball out of the wing T. When we committed in the spring of 14. We were good in 14. We were good, and we threw the ball a little bit, but we committed in that spring to, in our opinion, kind of turning a page offensively and really studying what we thought these teams, collegiate teams, what they were doing really well, these teams that were scoring like crazy. And at the time in 14, it was still Oregon that was scoring like no one else. And we established some things, and we wrote it down, man. We studied Oregon, and we said, what are they doing that, in our opinion, that's allowing them to score a lot of points, right? We said, we don't believe that it's because they're gun that they're scoring a lot of points. We don't believe it's because they don't huddle that they're scoring a lot of points. We wanted to really map it out. And so we mapped it out, and we came up with a couple things. And a couple of those things were, they stretch the field horizontally and vertically, and they do it.
That exactly.
Yeah, they don't do it not only in the first quarter. Yeah. They're in the fourth quarter. They might be up 2 touchdowns and stretching vertically. So that was one thing we noticed. We're like, we can do that. They're stretching horizontally with their bubble screens. Well, in the wing T, we didn't have bubble screen, but we had rocket, and so we made a huge commitment to rocket, and I mean huge commitment to rocket. So that's just 2 examples. One more example, we thought, what was their no huddle doing? We didn't believe that it was about making the defense tired. Well, it is allowing that defense a smaller window to adjust to what formation you're in. So we changed up a little bit how we were approaching the line and tried to allow the defense a little less time to react to us. So that was kind of our mindset going into this. And the video that's going to play after this talks about that, and then how our passing game evolved into it, right? So we want to simplify. We knew, listen, we're going to be great on the ground. We cannot spend a ton of time throwing the ball in practice. We can't afford it. But we still need to stretch vertically. So we really sat down to analyze, what can we do to stretch the ball vertically with as little practice time as possible? And that's what the video coming up later is about. If you're watching this video more than 1 day after this releases, that video is not on YouTube anymore. It's over on the online clinic, clinic.chiefpigskin.com. But before you complain too much, just go check it out. is $10 to check it out. And I'm telling you, we've worked so hard on it. We're so proud of it. I would love for you to check it out. Sam Spencer in the house, first time chat watcher. Jordan Matthews, high school, Siler City, North Carolina, mostly gun wing T team. Great to have you, Coach Spencer. Thanks so much for joining tonight. Great to have you guys. Let's start talking some X's and O's now, Coach.
Sure.
You are sitting 8-0. You obviously to go 8-0. You're talented. Let's just put that. We know you're talented, right? You got to be talented to go 8-0.
Oh yeah,
you're talented.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What has through the air been good to you guys this year?
You know, I was just kind of listening to what you were before you even mentioned vertical and horizontal stretch. That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, you said it, and I was just kind of thinking like, hey man, you know, that was exactly what I was thinking. It's basically like it's still conflict. Okay, so for instance, if we're running a play that is gonna hit outside, right? That outside linebacker or force man, whatever, whoever the force man is in the defense, outside linebacker in a 4-4 or 3-5, or maybe it's a corner and a cover 2, whoever that guy is that is responsible for setting the edge. If he's coming too aggressively, now he's in conflict. He's got to come up to stop that run, or you can fake that same run, make it look identical to him, and maybe sneaking somebody behind him. So again, now you're stretching that guy vertically where you got the threat of an outside run in front of him. Mm-hmm. And he's seeing the same picture, and maybe you're sneaking in somebody behind him. So what does he want to do? As long as he's sitting back, keep running that outside run. He wants to come up. So again, anytime we call a play, I don't look at the play. I know if the play worked or not based on the result of the play. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the guy in conflict to see if something else is open. So for instance, if we're running buck sweep, I might be looking at the backside defensive end to see if he's chasing down inside or not. If he's chasing down inside, I know we have your sucker play, which you turned me on to. If we're running, you know, buck sweep, that quarterback's booting out and we're leaving that backside defensive unblocked because that tackle's going on his touchdown block. If that DN is chasing down inside, we know we got that bootleg. If he's running up the field to contain for quarterback, now we know we have your crisscross, my wingback counter, same deal. But, you know, he's in conflict. You know, is that, you know, I mean, it's basically, yeah. So I'm looking every single play to see, okay, I'm not looking at buck sweep. I'll know if that worked or not because it's 2nd and 2 and we just got 8 yards.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, my O-line coaches are on the iPad saying, we're not blocking it correctly and they're making the necessary adjustments. So I don't worry about that play. I know the play worked and if it's successful. I'm looking at the conflict plays and who's in conflict for the other constraint plays.
Yeah. That we have. Now you guys were in a war. You guys were in a war last Friday night against maybe one of the best teams on your schedule, if not the best.
Number 1 defense in 5A, and we're a 4A team. They have like 2,000 kids. We got 1,000. They were allowing less than 7 points a game. Number 1 defense in 5A. And
you guys, again, you run the ball so well, and I could tell your defense was playing so well that second half you called a pretty conservative game, and I understood. So you guys, but I did see that you ran boot and you sucker blocked it, and your quarterback was by himself 1 or 2 times.
He was there. Yep. So again, it's so call a play intelligently because you don't know what's going to work, but based on what you're seeing from the reaction of the defense, you're saying, look, this is there. Most teams that play wing T are going to play it one way. It's so unique. They can't put in a lot of variations. They're probably going to play you. So you're trying to figure out how they're playing you and then take advantage of it. So again, we false pulled it. You're going to have tendencies as an offense. Yeah. But you better have a couple tendency breakers. All good offenses have tendencies. And I got that play from you. I absolutely love it. Is, you know, those guards pull just like on buck sweep. And that fullback sneaks out. Doesn't give quite as good of a fake as he would on traditional buck sweep, but he's sneaking out in that same fashion and pinning that DN. Mm-hmm. We absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. And not only that, you got that tight end coming across, which is a great route. The quarterback can run. You got that out route by the split end, and it sets up that out and up. So I mean, it's a great play, a big key breaker. I'm a big believer in, like, you better have a couple guard key breakers, maybe a dive back key breaker. What our defense is going to teach your kids to look at and have something in there. You don't got to run it a ton, but just enough for that linebacker in high school says, my coach is wrong. He told me to key the guard.
Exactly.
He told me if I key the guard, it takes me to the play. You run it a couple times early, and then you can go back to your traditional offense and but just something that's going to keep those coaches second guessing their keys,
yeah.
those high school linebackers, saying it's not 100%.
You're right. Well, guys in the chat, again, thank you for checking in. We are on a live Wing T Hangout right now. I'm in Champaign, Illinois. Coach Cultis, I believe you're in Evansville somewhere, right?
Yeah, it works though. We had practice, and then we had a team meal. Now I'm in my office.
Man, he's still at the school there. We'll try to get you home to the fam soon. After this, you'll see a clinic video from our online clinic. And again, I don't do this often, I promise, but tonight's video is from me. And it's probably one of my favorite videos I've created anyway. And it just really shows a true look into probably the single largest jump our Wing T offense made. And a lot of it had to do with a full-scale commitment to stretching the field horizontally and vertically. Coach, outside of your boot play, what else has been good to you guys through the air?
Sure. You know what? One of them is just, what I love is just the quick game to the split end, and but doing it intelligently and saying, look, how are they playing us out there? Because it's pretty hard to double team him and stop the run. So he's probably one-on-one out there. So basically, here's another example of your stretch theory is, if that guy's playing 7 to 10 yards off and getting out of there pretty quick, we throw now, which is a one step that the receiver takes, assuming his inside foot's up, one step with his outside foot and shows the quarterback his numbers. And I love it because there's no read for the quarterback.
Yeah.
He knows where he's throwing it. There's no risk of interception, no risk of sack. It's a pass you're going to complete at least 95% of the time. It's going to get you at least 5 yards, so we view it as a running play. And if he makes one guy miss, he's gone. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have a dude that's good after the catch, it's a great play. But now what are you doing? You're making that corner go, uh-oh. I have a threat in front of me with that now, whatever you want to call it, a screen. I mean, it's even quicker than a hitch. I mean, quarterback gets the ball and throws as fast as he can. Well, he's got that in front of him. Well, guess what? When he starts creeping up, maybe pressing us and worried about that, then we throw a fade. Mm-hmm. And to me, fade, if you ever get a one-on-one press corner, and you saw me, I called it last week, 4th and 2 at our own 35.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
My principal probably would have maybe fired me to halftime if we didn't get it, but that was the right call because we were pressed man-to-man. And here's the beauty of it. If you outside release press man, our guy sees the football, and the corner in man-to-man has to turn if outside release, he's going to man turn and turn his back on the play. Mm-hmm. He can't see the ball, our guy can. So to me, that's very similar to basketball. If I'm playing you one-on-one in basketball and I see the ball come off the rim and you don't, I'm going to get the rebound every time. Now you got to have a dude out there that, and we practice, making sure we outside release, we practice fading away, we practice quarterback leading them high into the outside. But you get a lot of pass interferences. It's a great situation to be in where your kid sees the ball and the other guy doesn't. And we practice it so much, we're pretty efficient at it. But again, we're calling it to stretch the corner. You want to come up, we're going to throw a fade. You want to stay back, we're going to throw now. So that's another example of kind of just a quick passing game. And I love it because, those are low risk plays. If we run fade, you're not going to intercept it because you don't even see the ball. In that now screen, you're not going to intercept it. So there's no risk of sack and turnovers. And Jim McKee, as you know, who's one of the best Wing T coaches in high school in the nation, he says there's 3 offensive killers in the Wing T: penalties, sacks, and turnovers. Well, if I throw now, we ain't going to get a holding penalty because the ball, our kids are aggressively firing out. We're getting rid of the ball immediately, so there's no reason to hold. We ain't going to get sacked, and it probably ain't going to throw an interception. So it checks off all 3 boxes of yes in that passing game. And most of our passes are, like I said, quick game to the split end, or there's some type of conflict, horizontal, vertical stretch like you're talking about. And it should look exactly like our running game.
Yeah.
Whatever pass plays we're doing, I want them to look just like our run. We're going to pass 5 to 10 times a game. And I want to pass 1st and 10-ish situation. I don't want to pass 3rd and 14 when their D-line pins their ears back, linebackers drop, DBs are deep. I don't want to do that. I want to pick the spot. And if we're going to pass 5 to 10 times a game, I want it to be big.
Yeah.
Even that now throw, if we break 1 tackle, we're gone. So every pass we have, if we're going to pass only 10 times a game, we want to make each of them worth it. Mm-hmm. We don't want to pass 5 to 10 times for 5 yards. What is that?
Absolutely. And that's one of the things. Hey, what's up, Coach? Defense in the house. I think, is that you, Coach Brian Chivis? So to that effect was one of the main reasons, in all honesty, and we kind of have 3 or 4 variations of our boot. But in most variations of our boot, we stopped sending our fullback out. Because here's what we found. First of all, I was always trying to talk my quarterback into running the ball more. He wanted to throw it, right? Secondly, we don't throw more than 10 times a game, so we're trying to stretch you. So honestly, I wanted to take that option away from my quarterback and just say, listen, I'm gonna use that guy some other way, right? Whether it was to influence or do something else with him.
Protect.
Yeah, more protect.
Or to pin that D end, or
Right. So of our 3 or 4 options, he only still went out in 1, right? And that would be if we really truly thought we were going to get edge pressure and we would need to dump it fast. But for the most part, we would do something else with them, right? Because again, like you said, we're only going to throw 10 times, dude. We're going to go vertical.
Yep.
We're going to go vertical.
And I tell you is that the threat of that, those coaches better calm their secondary down. And to me, one of the biggest keys to stopping a heavy run attack, a flex bone triple option, a wing T, you better get those guys involved. And when you do get them involved, and that coach can tell them all week, don't come up, stay back. They're going to throw deep. Well, after we run 15 times in a row for you for 200 yards in the second quarter, they're going to come up. They're a high school kid. And if you run 15 times in a row successfully and you do a running play that looks just like what's been working and throw it, it's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing is it's unbelievable. Jim McKee is the one that I'm probably my biggest mentor in the wing T. You're another one as well. But just, it's laughable. You're watching film of these guys. Their receivers are wide open. Like there's nobody even on them. I'm like, that's incredible. Like now he tells his quarterback, not even kidding, this is the verbiage he uses, throw a punt. Throw a punt because he's that open. We don't want to throw a line drive and miss him wide open. Throw a punt so we make sure we catch it because he's that open. And I'm just laughing, but it's true. See on film, throw a punt. Hilarious.
Well, you guys, again, we've got a video coming up after this. Hey, we got our first troll in the chat. iPhone 13 says, who the F makes these videos for 13 people? Well, I do, man. I do. I make these things for 13 people because that's 13 coaches. Very specific audience. For us, one of the things that worked out very well for us, of course, we loved our boot. We ran a little quick game. And then the next thing that worked out the best for us was when we did have one pass protection that was your true, like big on the right, slide on the left. And it was always big on big right, slide left. Yep. And where we did do a true drop back, we showed it off of our buck sweep fake, did a true drop back, set our feet, and we threw really to the same location all the time, deep vertical middle, and we would, depending on the play, get a different guy to deep vertical middle. So one of our favorite, and it would depend on who our best dude was, but one of our favorite we called boot big, right? So what we wanted was, let's say you're in your, which formation? See, I'm not even a true numbers wing T guy. Tight end left, split right. Is that 100 or 900?
That's 900, tight end wing left.
Right. So 900. So 900. Picture 900, I'm gonna show buck sweep. Everyone's running boot right. But instead of booting right, I want to hit my wing back vertical on that post. So instead of booting and asking my quarterback to throw that post back, I'm gonna just set him up in the pocket. Everyone else is running boot. We're showing buck sweep, but we're protecting the pocket, set my feet and throw vertical to that wing back. Boom, that's the guy we wanna hit. And it's at our spot. For us, our spot was however far my quarterback could throw it that year, which is usually somewhere between 45 and 52 yards, dead center over the top of our center. I mean, it is boom. Oh, hold on. I think I bumped my thing. Can you hear me? Can everybody still hear me? Let me know.
Yep.
So
great play. Play.
Boot big had been really good to us. So for example, we had a year where our best guy by far, and when I say best, like speediest guy, he was our X receiver. So we knew we wanted boot big. So instead we would line up in 100 formation and just flip our backs to the left. So our tight end right, X left, but our backs were in that wing tee to the left still. And now we're going to run boot big. And now we got our X on that backside post, our guy that we want 50 yards away from us, dead center over the top. And that was very good to us over the years. And then, of course, I think it's important to have your one stick mover. And we had our one stick mover, and that was same action as that boot big. But our tight end, instead of running a drag, just that 10-yard hitch and just sit in the hole. And they're right behind those linebackers, right? They got their safety bailing because we got a guy going vertical. That wingback's going vertical. And our tight end would just sit there. And I'll tell you what, honestly, that play, we called it wagons. Wagons was the most consistent passing play for us when you took it program wide. Like for your freshman, JV, like every level we had. So we had levels that would struggle with like throwing vertical, right? But every level we had threw wagons really well. So for us, I just wanted to share with the guys in the chat the things for us throwing the ball that were very, very good to us. Because let's face it, to beat the really good teams, it sure does help to be able to stretch the field a little bit and put that ball in the air.
Wagons sounds like a great play just because, again, the linebackers are in conflict.
Yes.
You know, they got run, so they're going to come up for run, and they got that tight end sitting behind them. And that safety's in conflict because he's got to stop boot big, so we better stay his butt back.
Yeah, exactly.
If he does, then you got wagon. I mean, it's brilliant. And the other one I like, too, is like what you're talking about, a boot big, is if you're playing a cover 3 team, what does the free safety do on waggle or bootleg? If he takes the tight end dragging across field, that's when boot big's awesome.
Yes.
You know, if he's staying back for a boot big, then just boot out and look at your tight end, your split end, or your fullback, wherever you got out there to run. You know, something it's if you see that safety in cover 3 taking the tight end coming across the middle, then run. Now he's stretched. He's got the tight end coming across in front of him, which he visually will see, and that wing sneaking in deep behind him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I always think of it like fishing. Like, come on, free safety, take the bait, take that tight end that you see in front of you and sneak in that wing behind him.
Absolutely. You know, we actually, in order to force ourselves to throw the ball vertically more, because that's the thing. It's easy to get in a game and not do it because, you know, it is a risk to go vertical. It's a risk, and you hate wasting that down. But in order to force ourselves to do it more, we actually took a lot of plays out of our playbook. So we were carrying 3 counters. We reduced down to 1 counter. We were carrying a little rollout flood. We took it out. We were carrying counter boot. We took out counter boot. So we didn't want to. Like, I want to just carry it all. But the fact of the matter was
everything's good.
Right. The fact of the matter was
crisscross. Everything's good.
Yes.
Down, belly, trap, buck sweep. Well, I mean, it's all good.
We knew we had to hold ourselves accountable to going vertical. So we're like, the only way to do it is if we have less options, not vertical. You know what I mean? So we tried to force our own hand. We feel like it paid off. It made it. I know it. Again, just that, you know, sometimes even if you don't complete a deep ball in a game, just making that D coordinator have to watch that ball fly 50 yards in the air, it doesn't feel good.
Stays back and your running game works better because you've shown them you're going to do it.
Because even if you don't complete it, what's that D coordinator saying to his DBs, right? You know what he's saying.
I told you to stay back. All right, well, now you run for 500 yards. I like what you said was you took stuff out. A lot of coaches add. What are you going to take out? I love that you said earlier that you had one basic pass protection, which is the same as us. One thing, like, guys, we're going to learn one way, but we can block anything that they do. Just simplicity. We're more of like, it's easier for us to put in a formation or a motion. Look, guys, we're still running buck sweep just out of this. All we did was take the split end and move them over, and now it's unbalanced. Okay, same play for the backfield, the offensive line. Now the receivers just on the other side. Doesn't change anything. But for that defensive coordinator, that's a problem. Or
yes.
All right, we motion the wing across, and they'll run buck sweep to a nub tight end surface. And we just run it one hole shorter, and that guard's pulling instead of coming tight off the wing's butt. We just call it buck short. That wing motion. So short tells them the wing ain't there. So now you're coming tight off that tight end's butt. And we usually only use that versus like a 3-4 tight look. But I mean, it's good versus certain looks.
I like that.
We're still running buck sweep, but we just motioned or a different formation. So again, I think it's inexpensive to put in formations and motions. Every time you put in a play, it's a new backfield action, new blocking scheme. And my last thought about what you had said was, don't put in two plays that serve the same purpose. We're not running now and hitch. They serve the same purpose. Right. They're both plays that take advantage of a corner that's far off bailing, and it's a quick pass. Pick one. They serve the same purpose. Like you said, you had multiple counters.
Well said.
They all serve the same purpose. Don't do it. Pick one thing that solves a problem.
Yeah.
The ends running up the field have something to take advantage of that. You don't need three things. You need one.
Amen. Coach, we got one more question for you from the chat. I'm going to read you the question, and then I want you to take a minute to think about it so you think of a good answer. And while you do that, I'm just going to wrap things up here on the video for the night, and then we'll close things out. From Coach Weave 88, he says, if you're struggling to run the ball, what do you do in the passing game? Assuming you're struggling because you're just outgunned up front. And maybe outgunned means they're committing a whole lot to it too, So think about that for a minute. I'm going to come back for your answer. Coach Chapman in the house. Good to see you, Coach Chapman. I haven't seen you here before. Welcome. Let us know where you're from if you could. He says, more isn't better. Keep it simple and master what you do. Reps, reps, reps. Amen. You're in good company, Coach. Guys in the chat, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully you got something out of Coach Cultis, a great coach. He's sitting 8-0 right now, Evansville Central High School. Look him up on Twitter at Coach. What's your Twitter handle?
Coach Sean 1.
At Coach Sean 1, SEAN. At Coach Sean 1. Look him up on Twitter. And also, fellas, when Coach finishes up, we say goodbye here in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Coach Chapman's out of Whitesboro, New York. Welcome, Coach Chapman. After he does that, you're going to hear the sound go off for about 30 seconds, but I'll be transitioning over to my clinic video that'll be up. And that clinic video is on throwing the ball vertical out of the wing tee and honestly how it changed our offense. So I don't show much of my stuff, especially on the YouTube stuff like that I produce for the clinic, but I wanted to show one because it was really relevant. I think it's pretty decent, so I hope that you guys will take a look. All right, Coach. What are your thoughts from what Coach Weaver asked?
Well, the first thing, I just thought about it for a second here, and my first thought is we need to run the ball. I'm not going to just ever in a game be like, oh, the run ain't working, so now we're going to pass every play, because that's not us. Especially because a lot of our passing games predicate on the fact that the defense is, putting themselves in conflict. So I would say the first thing is not everything has to work. We go into every game and some teams line up in a bare front and say, you're not running fullback trap. Okay, fine. We don't have to run fullback trap. We'll run something else. So what's working, what's not working? And then can we get a play to work by switching formations or motioning or, so again, maybe they can stop buck sweep out of this look. Let's find another look. So again, it's sometimes just finding, different things. And the other thing too is blocking variations. I'm sure you understand too, is like the one thing about the wing tee that's great is a lot of it's rule blocking. A lot of the wing tee allows you to run the ball versus various fronts by switching maybe the way you block something. Last week, for example, I don't know if you saw our game. I know you did, Nate, but we were trying to run fullback trap. Wasn't working that well. And we all of a sudden just said, we're running wedge. We're going to still run fullback up the middle. Mm-hmm. We're going to wedge block it. And at halftime, we went in there, made the adjustment, and all of a sudden, our fullback was the throw up the middle. So I think a lot of times you got to be able to run your plays, but sometimes having a blocking adjustment or switching a formation or a motion, now you're able to run what you run. So that's the beauty of it, is you keep it so simple that we were able to at halftime say, look, instead of trying to trap that guy, we're just all going to wedge it, and we're still hitting our fullback up the middle. And all of a sudden, you had 5 carries for 50 yards on wedge in the third quarter. So just little stuff like that. And of course, you got to be able to throw it, but we're not going to give up on the running game. That's just not us. We're going to figure out what's working, what's not working. I have a play sheet that I use during the game, and every time I call a play, I just put a plus or a minus next to it. And if there's a couple of minuses that I see, it's off for the night.
Yeah.
Like it ain't working. I tried tackle trap counter once, tried it twice. All right, it's just done for tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to see, like, okay, at halftime, what's really working, what's not working, and then trying to focus on what's working. And if something's not working, is it because they're taking it away and just outnumbering us, and we maybe need to find another way to run that play out of a different look? Or is it that we're not blocking it correctly? And that's a huge difference. It's like, I need to know right now, are they just saying, look, you ain't running buck sweep tonight to the tight end wing? But because of that, we got belly and belly sweep whatever week. Yeah. So, being able to understand why they're stopping it, how they're stopping it, are they stopping it with numbers, or do we need to talk to our offensive line on the sideline immediately and say, look, you're not blocking your rule, buddy. You need to figure out, this is your rule and you're blocking the wrong guy, and here's what we need to do to fix it.
Well, Coach Weaver kind of threw in there as well. He said, hey, what's up, Coach Campos in the house? He said, outgunned meaning they are better than you. So just to add to that, Coach Weaver,
Yeah. What do you
when they're
better on you? Come on.
When they're better than me, I'm like, well, we're going to try to keep it close.
Though, it's kind of an equalizer too. So let's be honest. Like, there's some games where our offensive line last week, nothing against my guys. I love them. That team we played, their D-line was way better than our O-line. They were. Mm-hmm. But we had angles and we double teamed it. And our offensive line played their best game of the year. And they did a great job against those guys because we had the angles and the double teams and trapped them and things like that. So I think it gives you a fighting chance. The misdirection, the fact that nobody runs it, gives you a fighting chance. A lot of times your best blocking is the faking. Mm-hmm. Dudes are chasing the wrong guy who has the ball. So I think it's an equalizer. And if you're worried about teams that outmanning you, wing T's perfect.
We and this might sound a little out of the normal way of thinking, but for us, Coach Nick's in the house out of Champaign. I worked with Coach Nick's. Great to see you, man. And Coach Nick's will tell you this out of experience from us. When we know we're outgunned, the first thing that's going to happen is my man Coach Nick's, who was our guy on the stopwatch. And we were using every last second of the play clock. We would wait, right? This is pre-play clock at the end zone days. And then when we give you the point, now we can break the huddle. Now here we go, right? So we're going to use every last second of the clock. The second thing that we're going to do when we're outmanned more, and again, this sounds odd, but we probably run more wedge and we run more ISO. We run less buck sweep. We run less of our stuff that develops slowly. Because when we're outmanned, we know we can't hold that block very long. Our best chance to keep this game close is to take our 2-2-2-2, pop 1 for 4, put a couple first downs together, maybe spring one of our vertical balls. We know that's our best chance, right? We're outmanned. We know it's going to be hard. But we run far less. Anything that's longer developing, that's going to wait, right? That's going to have to be the right time. That's going to wait. We're going to run a lot more wedge things and ISO that belly, your belly stuff. So again, that kind of sounds odd. Like you're going to just try to outmuscle up the team that's better than you. It's more like minimizing risk, I guess I would call it.
Gotta block as long. If they're better than us, now we only got to block for a half second instead of 3 seconds. So,
exactly.
That makes sense to me. Like,
that was our thought process.
Just cut them and go. Yeah. They can do that versus.
Well, we are going to shut this down. We went 10 minutes long. Sorry for taking your time, Coach Cultis.
You and I could talk wing T we were on for 30 minutes. We could talk for 30 hours. Babe.
Isn't that the truth, man? Yeah. Hey, you got a big game this Friday night, 9-0. Go get it, Coach, and then go win a state title.
Hey, we got a chance. Got to stay healthy. I think we have a bunch of great kids, and I'm lucky to coach them, and that's a big reason why we haven't lost. I got a bunch of studs.
Man, that's exciting. Well, you guys look these guys up. Look up Coach. Oh, we got a new coach in the house. Want to give him a shout out. Nick Schneiderman. Thank you for joining. Oregon High School, Illinois. Wait, I feel like I've talked to you online before, Coach. First time checking in. Great stuff, Coach A. Keep up the great work. Thank you. These live shows are great. Been watching since the early days. So happy to have you on. Thanks for checking us out. We're going to transfer over to the online clinic video. It is on throwing the ball out of the wing tee, and probably our single biggest year of improvement came from, of course, we had talented kids, but a lot of it too was this commitment to stretching the field. So hope you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out at Coach Sean 1, Coach Cultis. Go get him.
Thanks, Coach. Always good talking to you, bub.
We'll see you.
I'll see you.
head coach at Champaign Central High School, current assistant coach at Unity High School, which is a gig I just recently started and I'm pretty excited about. I'm under a football coach who has had a ton of success, and he has an entire staff there that's been together for many, many years. And they're giving me a very small role in their program, but you know, even though the role is a little bit different to get used to because I'm used to a much different role, it's a great opportunity for me in my coaching career, and I'm excited about it. And my two older kids are going to go through school there, and when they finish going through school there, that'll be my time to kind of, in my opinion, it'll be phase 2 of my coaching career, and I hope to pursue a head coaching job at that time. As I have gotten out of what I've had my own head coaching role, I thought, well, hey, the odds are when I come back to my coaching role, I'll be moving on to a new offense, whether it's still a wing T style offense. I'm sure that, you know, over time we all change so much, and I'll be influenced by my current program at the time. Who knows where I'll be? But I wanted to share what had been so successful for us for a good chunk of time, whether it was my time at Champaign Central or other schools. And I just think that it's good. I think there was there's a lot of little nuggets of information that I think are worth sharing. I'm also the producer of Chief Pigskin. A lot of you guys know that. Maybe not everybody does, but just a venture that I started because I thought that the coaching industry needed it. And I'm trying so hard to be fair to all parties involved, the coaches that present, the coaches that watch and pay for it, and my